My 9-week-old puppy is potty trained. It's true. Let me explain. First of all, let me say that I got my puppy at 6 weeks old, and I've got to be adamant about not getting your puppy that young. Although I didn't have a choice, he was already separated from his mom, and it was better for him to have a home at that age. It's best not to do that. They need to be with their moms until they're 8 weeks old. But to be truthful, the reason that he's potty trained at 9 weeks is because I got him at 6 weeks. Otherwise, it would be 11 weeks or so before he and I were on the right track. But 11 weeks is certainly nothing to scoff at. So, how often do puppies need to potty? Well, puppies, they're potty machines. What goes in is contingent to what comes out. So, if you're leaving food out for them all of the time, chances are they're going to need to potty more often. So when do puppies need to pee? They need to pee first thing in the morning when they wake up. That's when they wake up, not necessarily when you wake up. In the middle of the night, depending on their age, every 2 to 4 hours. So the younger you get your puppy, the more likely he is to have to go out in the middle of the night. He needs to pee after naps, after exercising or hard playing, after drinking a lot of water, after eating, and of course last thing before bed. So does that sound basically like constantly? Good, I must have covered everything then. When do puppies need to poop? They need to poop first thing in the morning, last thing at night, of course, and right after eating. So if you're not having your puppy on a feeding schedule or a specific time, then it's much more difficult to gauge when he's got to poop. I usually feed my puppy 3 times a day. That way I know my puppy's got to poop 3 times a day. If that sounds overwhelming, it should be. Puppy potty training is not an easy matter, and honestly, it's not about the puppy. It's about making sure you get your puppy outside often enough and control his environment. So why is my puppy so successful? He is successful because I am a diligent owner. He's either in a crate, he is on a leash, or he's on a tie-down with me. He does not have access to my house, and for the few times that he did, he snuck off and had an accident, like most puppies do. By keeping him in a small area, he has become uncomfortable to potty in his own space, in that 10 feet that he's got to wander around and he's got his toys in. So he whines and he pulls towards the door when he has to go potty. I must also monitor his actions if he has a lot to drink. Chances are he's going to need to potty afterwards. If he runs around like a maniac, chasing and flinging his toys, he's probably going to have to go potty shortly thereafter. And I always go outside with him to make sure that he's going potty outside. It doesn't matter if we're having torrential rain or if it's 50 degrees below zero. I need to go out with him. And don't give up and let him potty inside, or you're back to square one with your potty training. Too many owners put their puppies outside and expect them to go potty. But instead, the puppy sees something, a leaf, a butterfly, he chases, he has fun. Then he comes back in the house and he needs to go potty. Or he starts to go potty, and mid-flow he gets distracted by a noise or something that visually floats by him. As an owner, you've got to be there in order to recognize that he probably wasn't finished what he was doing, and he needs a little more coaxing. If I put my puppy outside alone and don't follow him around, and then I allow him access to my house, would he have accidents? Sure he would. The reason that he's doing well is because I'm a diligent mommy, and I follow him, I go outside with him, and I hate cleaning up puppy accidents. He's not ready to run over and ring a bell with his nose yet. That's the next step. Now, you wouldn't bring a baby home from the hospital and expect it not to have any accidents. And parents with toddlers know that kids also have good days and bad days. Then why do we expect our puppies to be perfect? Puppies are just like babies. They gain bladder control at different times. Some are easier to potty train than others. You have to go from one step, cleaning up the occasional accident and getting your puppy outside, like cleaning diapers every few hours, to teaching your puppy the next step. It is now time to hook up the bell to the door knob and start the bell ringing behavior so that he can let me know when he needs to go outside. But he's still little, so chances are he'll be on a leash and a tie-down here in my house with me for several more weeks, and there's nothing wrong with that. Eventually, he'll no longer have accidents. He won't be wanting to chase my cat or bite the other dogs, and then he'll get the privilege of having access to the house. But at my house, access and freedom is a privilege that needs to be earned, and obedience and compliance is the key. I don't let my puppies develop terrible, naughty behaviors because I know that fixing bad behaviors is harder than simply avoiding them. For more information on potty tips, go to www.thedogtrainingsecret.com.